It was another stunning performance by Jaden Daniels to set up Zane Gonzalez, who used his entire room for error, knocks one through off the upright and in as Washington collects their first playoff win since 2005, set to take on the one-seeded Detroit Lions in Detroit in the divisional round. Back in the mix with Logan, Ryan, and Bryant McFadden here to dig right in because, fellas, we're only as good as our next one. Lions, Commanders, talent all over the field, strengths in different places. When I say Lions, Commanders, what is that matchup within the matchup that your eyes are going to immediately go to, Mac?
Aaron Glenn, Cliff Kingsbury. Aaron Glenn has been the most coveted defensive coordinator in the National Football League this season. No question, he's a head coach in waiting. But before he gets to that opportunity, he has some business to take care of. And it starts with finding a way to do what? Slow down, neutralize, put pressure on Jaden Daniels. When you look at the quarterback-OC relationship there in Washington, they work so well together. Cliff Kingsbury has done a phenomenal job being able to put Jaden Daniels in positions to be successful, and Jaden Daniels has done a phenomenal job executing the plays. But when you look at this matchup, the Washington Commanders are currently in this position because of how good their young quarterback has been. Once again, he was the best playmaker on the field there in Tampa. Can he do the same thing in Motown? And if Aaron Glenn finds a way to slow him down, Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, they will get extra possessions to do what they've been able to do the entire season, which has been score points. So that is the watch-up that I'm watching because both sides have really been impressive. Individually speaking, Jaden Daniels has been a big-time surprise in terms of what he's been able to do and being able to sustain that level of play. And then Aaron Glenn has been a mastermind. Look at what he did recently against Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold came in that thing hibachi hot as well. He came out, he was cool. Super cool. He was cooled off like an ice cube. So can they cool off Jaden Daniels just a tad bit?
I like where B-Mac's at on the macro level with the coordinators, but I'm going to even shrink it down. Same type of matchup, but I'm talking about Amik Robinson, the Lions corner, covering Terry McLaurin. Because, yes, the Lions defense looked a lot better. That's the biggest question mark with the Lions. We know what they can do offensively. We know what they generate over there. That's tough. Their biggest weakness is on defense. That's what they need to have a Super Bowl. Amik Robinson stepped up. They played a lot of man-to-man in that Minnesota game, and he covered Justin Jefferson well. Sam Darnold missed some throws. Will Jaden Daniels miss those throws? And Terry McLaurin, could he follow and shadow Terry McLaurin and shut him down or have him have an off night like he did Justin Jefferson? So that was a huge key for them beating Minnesota and clinching that one seed. But will he be able to repeat that success, or was that a kind of a fluke? Because being a top corner and covering these guys is hard. I've covered Terry McLaurin. You're going to see in this touchdown here. This guy keeps going. He is not phased. If he drops one, if one breaks up, he comes right back. This guy's a hard worker. He's earned the right to be talked about in these moments. I know Terry McLaurin is going to come to play. Can Detroit cover him? That's going to be the biggest question mark.
Two big-time matchups that are going to decide the outcome of this game. Put me down for Alex Anzalone staring Jaden Daniels right in the eyes. I can't wait to see that cat and mouse happen in pre-snap as well. Washington, 9 wins this season, including the wild card round by 6 or fewer points. Detroit's doing it a different way. They're blowing teams out. They've been held under 31 points since Thanksgiving against the Bears, and that was a weird one. So it's all going to come down to who can get that extra possession, who can limit in the biggest moments, and who can make that biggest play. Vegas thinks it's the Lions making the play time and again. 8.5 between them. According to our friends in the desert, 55.5 is our total. You give me the What comes after the If the is the ellipses, what do you,
I feel like right now, how I feel, you said 8.5, right, Joe?
8.5, 55.5.
Yo, Logan, I'm going to take the Commanders getting 8.5. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. And until I see otherwise, we have some days to kind of dissect this game and as we get prepared to talk about it and watch it as well. But right now, Jaden Daniels is special. Jaden Daniels is special. I think he's going to be able to put points on the scoreboard because he's a +1. Like when you play against a guy like Jaden Daniels, it's like defending 12 players instead of 11. He's the quarterback and he is a runner at any given time. And he's probably their best runner And he doesn't play the running back position.
Held in check in the second half by this Tampa Bay team until that moment.
Yeah, and he didn't run a lot.
He
didn't run a lot, but he always have that element in his back pocket.
For it.
And of course, we talked about how good Detroit has been defensively, but we cannot forget about some of the injuries they've been dealing with. You have some backups filling in for other backups. So I think it's going to be an entertaining game, but right now today, I'll take the Commanders getting 8.5.
Yeah, let me tell you a little trade secret here in playoff football. I've been a number 1 seed quite a few times playing for the Patriots. That divisional game, when you come off a bye week and you're playing a team that just won a road game in the playoffs and they're believing themselves, that is a hard game to win. If you look back, this is the 10-year anniversary where my Patriots had to come back on the Ravens twice, 2 10-point deficits in that game. We had to do that double throw Amendola to Edelman to win that game, and then we win the AFC Championship by 40 when we rout the Colts. Coming off a bye week last year, the San Francisco 49ers I was part of, we had a bye week. We came out to a hot Green Bay team that punched us in the mouth. So when you want that rest, that's great. You need that rest. Having that 1 seed is an advantage, but it is hard to when a team is coming in your building and just won a game 6-7 days ago. These young guys got a lot of belief in them. They think, why not us? They're playing the underdog role. And a lot of times when you're trying to get this Super Bowl, that divisional game for the 1 seed is usually harder than that championship game. So this is a tough game. Don't sleep on the Commanders in this one. I know it's all Detroit, but Jaden Daniels and them just played a game 7 days ago. They're going to walk in there with some confidence at why not us? And the Lions got to generate some steam and generate it early, or you're going to be looking around at halftime, need a great speech to dig yourself out of a hole.
Yeah, you got to fear that object in motion when you are starting to get things turned back up. You're spurring something in here, Logan, and I'm interested in both of your points of view on this because you've both been in that situation. What is the key for that 1 seed in getting out of the gate fast? If you could point to one thing that will make the Lions effective next week, what is that, Logan?
You just got to come out and you want to play from ahead. When you're at home in the playoffs, you want to get a lead so you can rush the passer, create turnovers, keep your crowd in it. If you get to a slow start and the Commanders have a 2-score lead, 10-point lead going to halftime, your own fans start to get tense. I mean, Detroit's going to have the thing booked up. You got fans out there waiting for 12 hours. It's the biggest moment in the city in how long. And if you don't start off quick, a lot of people bring a lot more tension than normal because there's a lot more anxiety in a playoff game. It's a game 7. So your fans feel it. Your coaches might feel it. Depends what type of locker room you have. You might feel it. So you want to get a lead early in the game, play from ahead, operate your game plan. If you get behind, then some of your fans and stuff, you start feeling that tension in the building.
When do you press that renegade button? I guess that's the question for you. When do you?
Shoot, I remember one AFC championship game, we came out to renegade. We came out to renegade. We was ready to get everybody fired up.
Mac, Logan, we appreciate your insight here on all fronts as we lean on some of that experience in the past, and we are looking forward to the future being Jaden Daniels taking on the Detroit Lions. Here's a look at that head-to-head. Washington 3-0 all-time in the playoffs against the Lions. We know the Lions' past is not as storied as most franchises. They still seek their first Super Bowl berth. Detroit winner in 6 of the last 7 against Washington. It's a comprehensive group there, but as the fellas said, one team with a head of steam, the other gonna have to get going quick.